The fire in the village had died down. Children slept. Elders whispered old songs, and inside a mud-brick room, Ibrahim Traoré closed his eyes, not in fear, but in peace. He had read stories, listened to pain, and handed out books. But in the shadows, boots moved silently. He never heard the door open, only the cold steel of cuffs. They came without words, tied his hands behind his back, blindfolded him, moved like ghosts. No one in the village stirred, not because they didn't care, but because they never knew. Traoré didn't shout, didn't resist. He counted turns, smelled the dust, felt the slope, and whispered to himself, "I know where we're going." A damp floor, leaking ceiling, concrete walls that remembered war. He was thrown inside like cargo. Chains clicked. A voice whispered, "Why are you so calm?" Traoré turned slightly. "Because fear is what they want, and I don't serve fear." Silence answered. Next to him, a boy sat quietly, no older than 14. Eyes tired, hands calloused. Traoré spoke gently. "Your name is Moussa. Your mother called you her lion cub." The boy froze. "How do you?" "She told me. She begged me to find you." And now he had. Moussa looked away. They said they'd heard her. If I ran. If I spoke, Traoré's voice dropped. Then it's time someone ran for you. If this moment moves you, like, comment, and subscribe. Because some chains are broken, not by force, but by someone who remembers your name. That night, Moussa tried to unlock the cell, but it was empty. The chains lay folded. No blood, no noise, just absence. Then, footsteps behind him. He turned. Traoré stood. "You came to save me. I came to save you." A flashlight beam hit them. Shouts echoed. Moussa froze. But Traoré stepped forward. "He's not your soldier anymore." A gun was raised, a warning, a tremble. Then a shot. Traoré flinched, but stayed standing. His shirt bloomed red. He didn't fall. He grabbed Moussa's hand. "Run now." They sprinted through the corridor, screams behind them, footsteps closing in. But Traoré moved like a man who'd outrun worse things. Blood in his teeth, fire in his eyes, hope in his grip. They reached the edge of the compound. A gate, barbed wire. A truck. Traoré climbed first, pulled Moussa up. Started the engine. Didn't look back. "We don't escape for revenge," he said. "We escape for return." The road was long. His wound bled. But he smiled through it. "We're almost there." Moussa stared at him. "Why did you come back for me?" "Because no one came for me once." Behind them. Flames, ahead, a sunrise. They reached the village edge at dawn. The air smelled like smoke and clay. Moussa looked out the window. "I haven't seen this road in 2 years." Traoré coughed, pressing his side. "Then today, you'll see your mother." Villagers stirred from sleep. The truck rolled in, battered. Children pointed. A woman ran. Her scarf trailed behind like wings. She screamed one name. "Moussa." The boy jumped down. She fell to her knees, and so did he. They held each other like time had stopped. Moussa whispered, "I wanted to come back sooner." She shook her head. "You came back alive. That's enough." Behind them, Traoré smiled weakly, then collapsed. They rushed him into a hut, clean cloth, boiled water. Silent prayers. His wound was deep, but not fatal. Moussa held his hand. "Don't die now." Traoré opened one eye. "Not before I give your mother my promise." He rested all day. By nightfall, he sat upright. The village lit candles. No speeches, no announcements, just music. And one boy who finally slept in his mother's arms. By the fire, Moussa wrote in a notebook. "He remembered my name, Even when I forgot it, Traoré read it and nodded. Names are where stories begin. If this line touched you, drop Lion Cub in the comments. Let's honor every child. Forced to be brave too soon. The next morning, Mousa walked beside him. Will they come back for me? Maybe. But you'll be ready, not with weapons. With truth, he handed him a book. This will guard you better. Traoré met with the village elders, promised better roads. A clinic, new guards, not with guns, but with trust. If they return, they'll find more than fear. They'll find people, standing. Before leaving, he handed Mousa a folded letter. When you're ready, read it. What's in it? A future. Mousa didn't ask more. He just held it tight, like armor. The truck rumbled down the path, its wheels cracking the silence. But this time, there was no fear-only air thick with meaning. Villagers lined the edge of the road, nodding quietly. Mousa stood beside his mother, hand in hers. No chains, no mask. Just a boy who had returned from the dark. Traoré looked back once, then forward. One lion roars, another learns. That's how we build nations. And the road kept going. In the capital, no news covered what happened. No headlines read "President wounded," because some victories aren't televised. They're whispered, remembered, and passed down like fire. Mousa didn't return to old habits. He studied, helped to rebuild the school, taught younger kids how to read. Your pen is stronger than their orders, Traoré had told him. He believed it now. He visited the clinic each week, checked the wound himself. Still healing? Traoré nodded. Just like you. They smiled. One scar on skin, one on soul, both fading. One afternoon, Mousa asked, will they come for others? Yes. What should we do? Be louder than their silence, kinder than their fear. And that became his mission. He wrote letters to other villages, told them what happened, told them they weren't alone. Some replied, some didn't. But every letter was a seed. Mousa took the folded letter Traoré gave him, finally opened it. Inside, only one sentence. I see you. He smiled. Because that's all he ever needed. If this line meant something to you, hit like visibility saves. They repainted the school wall, this time. Not just with quotes, but with names of every child who came back. Mousa's name sat at the center, bold, alive. One mother asked Traoré, what if it happens again? Then we'll rise again, one village at a time. Because to him, power wasn't how many followed you, but how many you helped stand. The tree outside the school grew taller. Children read under its shade. Mousa sat among them, teaching his brother to write. What do you want to be? The boy asked. Not what? Who? Someone who doesn't run. Traoré left quietly again. No parade, no speech. Just a notebook left behind. Inside, maps, plans, and a note. Next time they come, let them find a village they no longer recognize, because it's stronger now. Mousa stood at the village circle. Children sat around him, wide-eyed. He held up a book. This saved me more than any weapon. He read out loud, not to teach, to remind them. That being heard starts with knowing how to speak. An elder approached him. You carry yourself like someone older. Pain teaches quickly, Mousa replied. The elder smiled. But healing teaches deeper. Don't forget both. And he didn't. The village began to change. A new water line, solar lights. Blackboards cleaned, walls painted with dreams. People asked, Is this Traoré's doing? The chief said, No, this is what happens. When someone believes in us. Letters came from other regions. Can Mousa visit? Can he speak to our youth? Can he tell them it's possible? He didn't say no. He packed a bag, took the first step. not away from the past, but toward those still trapped in it. In one village, a boy asked, "Were you scared?" "Yes." "Then how did you fight?" Mousa looked at him. "You don't fight fear with fists. You fight it by choosing not to be owned by it." The boy nodded. Something in him shifted. Traoré received a photo. Mousa standing in a field. Surrounded by children reading, he smiled, then turned to his aide. "Tell them to send more books. If this story moved you, share it. Let others know the next chapter might begin with them." Rain came early that year. Fields bloomed, so did voices. Mothers taught daughters to write. Fathers built benches by hand. Hope wasn't a speech. It was routine. And in that routine, resistance quietly rooted itself. Traoré visited again. No security, no press, just him. A walking stick and a journal. Mousa greeted him at the edge. No salute, just a hug, the kind you give to the man who gave you back your name. That night, they sat by the fire. Traoré asked, "What's your next goal? To make this normal. A place where bravery isn't rare. It's expected." Traoré nodded. "That's harder than escaping chains, but more powerful." Before dawn, Traoré left again. Left behind maps, letters, and one line scribbled on a napkin. "Power is nothing if it doesn't return home." And like that, he was gone, but not absent. Never absent. Mousa gathered the children. No lecture, just a question. "What would you fix if no one stopped you?" One said, "The broken roof." Another, "My father's silence." They wrote them all. Because writing dreams is how revolutions start. He traveled more, sometimes by cart, sometimes by foot. Never with guards, only with books, in one village. A man offered him a gun. "This is protection." Mousa handed it back. So is education. A girl from the north sent him a letter. "My brother was taken. He might still be alive." "What should I do?" Mousa replied. "Write his name everywhere. Say it in stories. No one can disappear if we keep saying their name." A small radio station aired his words. He was once a prisoner. Now he teaches teachers. Calls flooded in. "Can he come here?" "We need someone who's been through it." Mousa listened, then packed his notebook. A new mural appeared on the clinic wall, a lion cub. Unshackled, walking alongside a shadowed figure. No labels, no names. But everyone who saw it understood exactly what it meant. Traoré heard the mural's story, smiled. Legends should never have names. They should have echoes. If you want to hear the next echo, subscribe, because stories like this don't end. They multiply. A celebration was planned. No banners, just shared food. A repaired school desk, a new blackboard. Someone stood to speak. This isn't the end of our story. It's just the day. We realized we're the authors. Mousa was gifted a scarf, woven by village mothers. On it, symbols for freedom, knowledge, and return. He wrapped it around his shoulders, not for fashion, but for memory. The rain returned. Children danced barefoot. Mothers clapped in rhythm. Mousa sat under the big tree, writing. His brother lay beside him, eyes closed, smiling, because peace, real peace, feels like that. Far away, Traoré reread Mousa's last letter. It ended with, "You didn't just save me, you taught me how to save others." He folded the page, placed it in his coat, and whispered, "Then I did my part." The wind answered. A teacher visited Mousa's village. She watched, listened, then asked, "What's your curriculum?" He handed her a notebook. "It's called What We Survived." She read it slowly, then stayed longer than planned. One night, Mousa looked up at the stars. His brother asked, "Do you miss him?" He nodded. every time I make a choice. I wonder what he'd say. Then added, but that means he's still here. Traoré's photo hung in the school, not framed, just tacked to the wall beside student drawings. A scar ran down his side, but the children didn't notice. They remembered the smile. At the year's end, Moussa stood before the class. He held the scarf, the one with 3 symbols. You'll each add your own symbol, he said, because you're all writing your own chapters now. He returned to the compound, where he was once held. This time, with paint, children covered walls with poems. A girl wrote, "Fear dies here," then signed it, not with her name, but a lion's paw. Traoré visited one last time, quietly. No guards, no speeches. Moussa hugged him tight. I kept going. Traoré nodded. So did the story. If this story moved you, comment still going below. Let's keep it alive together. A song was written. No one knew the composer, but the lyrics spread. He walked through chains, never bowed, lit the fire, and left it with us. Children sang it before meals. Softly, like a prayer. The well kept flowing. The books kept coming. So did the letters, some from places far away. We heard about your lion cub. We want to raise our own. Moussa didn't become a president or a minister. He became something harder, a teacher who never forgot what silence feels like, and that's how he taught others to speak. Years later, a child asked him, "Were you really rescued by the president?" He smiled. I was reminded who I was. The child blinked. Who are you? Someone who remembered. The bell rang. And the lesson began.